That girl, Little Beatles, Frankie. See, that's what's in my head right now.
Nice. A lot of bad things happen in your head.
That girl. Yeah. AOA podcast. Look at this. Back from a day off on Friday. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Nice weekend. You?
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
Family weekend.
Beautiful.
Had a weekend where it was like weekends are supposed to be relaxing. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I know. You gotta. I'm still on board. I think, was it Bernie Sanders? Someone said we got to go down to 4 days a week work wise.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Would be lovely. I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
It's weird. Anybody that hears this that has any kind of power, please.
Yeah,
we're all for it.
Let's make that happen. Yeah. It's weird. I don't know at what age this was when this happened, but suddenly the beach became work.
The beach is always work. When you're in charge of the outing.
Oh my god!
If you're the kids just show up, they walk to the wherever, and they play. But if you're in charge of everything, that's got to be it's got to be a nightmare. You got to keep track of everybody. You got to carry all the stuff. You got to make sure you got everything. That's hard work.
It's work, and I did like 2 days in a row of beach over the weekend, and I'm exhausted.
I feel like just walking from the parking lot to the beach. That's a pain in the ass.
I'm now I got the cart, and the chair's falling off the cart. I can't balance the umbrellas. The toys falling out the bottom. I can't do it anymore.
How many things you bring into the umbrella? Couple blankets, sunblock.
It's like an apartment. Nice. You know those 3D houses? I wish we can come up with a way to just 3D print a little.
It should be like a tent that it's like, and you just throw it, and it just explodes into a big tent. Everybody and all your stuff is in it.
That would be great. I feel like there was some cartoon or 80s thing where they just threw a little disc and it popped up into a car or something. And it would be nice.
Like a Jetsons style thing.
Yeah.
All these futuristic things we were promised as kids.
Oh, no.
We haven't seen thing one.
No.
We basically, besides the cell phone, I think we basically have the same stuff we've had.
Well, and we got the moving sidewalk, but they've relegated those to airports only for whatever reason. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, once you start putting those in Manhattan, then we'll talk.
Now we're talking. Now we're cooking. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in. I'm on board.
I hear you. Well, we have a lot to catch up on. A lot of the news of the day, including this SCOTUS reform proposed by our current president, Joe Biden. Almost forgot his name. Some new text messages regarding the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. That's a little alarming. We've got a Google bias. We've got to catch up and talk about JD Vance.
Oh, boy.
Justin Timberlake and Elon. Plus, we got a game coming up, Frankie C. You roll that all up in a little burrito. It's a podcast. Let me ask you an honest opinion. Is this straw too big for the cup?
No.
You don't think it's sticking out too high?
No, you're good.
Okay. I'm a metal straw guy now.
Yeah, any closer, your chin is in the thing. Your chin hairs are on the. You're good. You got a good amount of room there.
I got chin hairs to worry about. What's up to everybody in the live chat? So good to see everybody. We weren't here Friday, but I did put a lot of content in the members only area. My little weekend away with the family, and Robin,
weird AI stuff freaking me out.
The weird AI thing, which I still couldn't figure out. Well, I guess we can recap the trip. We'll save it to the end. But Robin took one of the pieces of content, put you in it, which always makes me giggle a little bit.
I think that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't always get it, and you don't have to get it. It's just I'm just there like.
It's just great that you're at everything. It just makes me laugh.
I'm just there. It's great.
I just find that to be amusing.
They're always good, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
I like the one where I'm in the pool, but it's like a huge picture, and I'm like this big on the bottom in the pool. That's so good. That's called creativity.
Yeah, we're gonna make him head of Photoshop.
Yes,
I think that's where he's headed. Let's talk about the SCOTUS reform. So Biden, basically with nothing to do. I mean, it's senior year and he's in the lounge, playing ping pong.
He doesn't have to do any of this.
No. Well, nor is he going to. I mean, there is zero chance that any of this stuff gets passed.
He brings up something, then you say he's not going to do it. He doesn't do anything, you say he's not doing anything. So he's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't.
Granted, yeah, I do like the idea of he's just gonna throw some crap out there and see what happens. I mean,
I like these ideas. There's three things, right? There's
yes.
three proposals he put out there.
So there's three. Basically, it's term limits on Supreme Court justices of 18 years. He put together what was the other thing about
not the president of the United States can't have
immunity
from
blank immunity,
everything, right? And there was a third thing that I'm blanking on.
Ethics for the Supreme Court justices.
Right.
Yeah.
All sound good, I think. I feel like people.
Well,
what's wrong with any of that?
The ethics thing seems to be something that is really missing because regular federal judges have strict ethics codes, but the Supreme Court doesn't.
They just do whatever the hell they want, and that nobody could say anything.
Yeah, like if you went on the man on the street and you interviewed people and you were like, does the Supreme Court have an ethics code? I bet you 98% of the people would be like, of course it does.
Yeah, they have to,
it's like
adhere to certain things. Yeah,
it's like one of those things you don't think about, but meanwhile they don't. It's like a hey, we're trusting each other to do this kind of thing, and we've reached a point in our country where I don't think we can really do that anymore with people. Yeah. Speaking of untrustworthy people, J Saps is here.
Hey. You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
She's there. I don't know if she's there.
I don't think she's there.
I guess not.
At the mic.
Well, she's on, so whenever she feels the need to speak, she'll speak, I guess. She's in the chat.
I think she's on.
Do you hear me?
Oh,
there we go.
It wasn't plugged in all the way. That's what she said. Usually I say the same thing. Oh, you're not plugged in all the way.
What's going on, J Sabs?
Hot in this freaking basement. So I don't know how much it's so hot in here. It's time to put an AC down here.
Why don't you have an air conditioner in your basement? That'd be nice for everybody.
Because there's really no windows and
yeah, it's hard with the basement.
Yeah, it's hard because there's no windows, so it's hard to cut into something that's underground. Don't worry. You've got funds in the AOA fund for air conditioning.
We'll see if we could add that to the mix. Maybe Biden will propose it along with all the other things he's done.
Yeah.
What do you think of the three things, J Sabs, that he's proposed?
I have no idea what they are.
So he said a code of ethics for the Supreme Court justices, 18-year term limits, and he wants to reverse their decision that you can't have a president of the United States have full immunity.
What is code of ethics for the Supreme Court?
Yeah, right now there is none. I mean, right now they're just relying on themselves as self-enforced, suggestive, loose. There's no defined, like, you can't take gifts from people. And, I think that was the most shocking thing. Like, we know Congress is bought and sold, but I don't think people realize that these Supreme Court justices are taking gifts from people.
I feel like all three branches of the government should operate under this, because if it's a checks and balances system that we have, they should all operate under the same code of ethics. Like the president can't do that, the Senate can't do it, and the judges can't do it. They should all be following the same rules.
It seems pretty basic. Yet the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, was like, "There's no way these are happening ever." He's like, "This just." And by the way, well, for several reasons, it's the summertime.
It's the summertime because we're tilted more towards the sun. That means we can't have the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but it's the truth. Ethics. I mean, Congress is not in session. They're not going to be in time to debate this. Though. It's weird to say, but they literally do not do anything in this time period, and then when they get back, it'll be all focused on the election.
Well, what's good about it, I mean, if Kamala wins, she could take the ball and run with it from there. It doesn't have to. These three things don't have to die.
Yeah.
If Trump wins, then it won't happen.
Well, it definitely will not happen. But yeah, I think that's the idea of it, of him putting it forward as an idea so that she could, it's also something for her to run on. She endorsed it, by the way. She backed it up and said that it was good and needs to happen. I mean, it's another one of those weird things where, yes, we get caught in political strife back and forth. And yes, it's right versus left. But if you took at least one of those, which is the code of ethics, it's probably something that would 100% come back. Everybody would be unanimous on it. I
don't see how. I feel like all three of them are common sense, obvious things that should happen.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't love the term limits part of it, because it, as much as it's great that you get rid of somebody who's shitty, the reverse of that is you also will have to now lose somebody who's really good. And I think the point of a Supreme Court is you get these elder statespeople up there who have, in theory, who have knowledge and patience and wisdom.
Yeah.
And you rely on them to help guide things. That's what I love about this, the idea of the Supreme Court. And I don't like the term limit to limit that.
Which is great. However, the whole, the president of the most powerful position in the world has term limits, 8 years.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't someone in each branch of government have term limits? So you can't. So you're just the justice for life. I feel like a position for life in the government, in that kind of capacity, heading of the branch of government, should have term limits, because doesn't that make sense in terms of not having a position filled for life? That you know what I mean? That just seems like something that we would have done 300 years ago, before we were.
But I like the idea of having like a council of elder statespeople. Like I said, I love that idea. Like, you can just sit here and help us.
I get that, but they can do it for 18 years. That's a long time. 18 years is a generation, basically. It's a long time to every generation we get a new batch of Supreme Court justices. But
I think what will wind up happening is you'll just have people, whoever the president is at the time will just nix somebody who, if they're good or not, and then put in their own political party people. And I don't love that idea. Well, no,
they're not talking about being able to be fired and whatever. They're talking about you do your whole 18 years and then you're done after that. I mean, to be honest, I feel like, well, some of them are, what are they, in their 50s, 60s, 70s? I don't know how old they are, but to go 20 years from when they are put into the position, that's a long time for them to do that.
How long was Ruth Bader Ginsburg in there for?
I don't know, but
the Bader, because you look at that, she was a masturbator. If I could be totally honest, like, who was better than her, really?
Who wasn't?
She mastered the whole thing. See what I did? The thing?
Brilliant. 1993 till 2020 when she died.
Okay. So that's 27 years.
27 years. All right. So that's 9 years longer than the term limit.
I don't know. I don't really love the term limit. I give him credit too, though. He could have packed the court and he didn't. That would have been a nightmare.
Yeah. But, I feel like having that position, once someone's in, that's it. They're there for life. That seems like imagine they did that with the president. Once they're president for life.
It's a different position, though. It's a different position.
It's three equal branches of government. That's what
true,
it's supposed to be.
The president is so much more powerful than the Supreme Court. I mean,
the Supreme Court passes stuff that the president can't take back. They have a lot of power, more power than than people realize.
They do. I don't know. I'm not in love with the term limit thing.
I think it's a good idea. I think you get people in there. You can, if someone is in there when they're 50, now they're going to go until until they're 100. It's like it's a long time to have the same person. I don't know. I think term limits is a good idea. The other two things, Was it the ethics? I think is a no-brainer. Yes, you have to have a code of ethics. How is that not a thing?
The immunity thing is the worst part of all of this, and it pains me because I know the Republicans love Trump and they want him to have that, but you don't want anybody else to have it. Like that's the problem with that.
Doesn't make any sense. How could
just look at have you seen what's going on in Venezuela with the president down there?
No.
Okay, so President Maduro, this guy has been in power for I think 7 or 11 years or something crazy like that. He decides to hold an election. This is amazing to me. Like, why do dictators feel the need to hold an election?
Elections that they're just going to screw up anyway?
Yeah, because they were estimating that he was They had 73% of the vote tallied, and he was getting murdered. So he just shut down the election, and now there's just mass riots everywhere as he tries to remain in power. And it's like, well, what are you inviting that in for if you're a dictator? You know.
Oh, because they'll deny that they're a dictator, probably.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I'm running a fair country, and it's a democracy. People have a say, but in reality, it's all shady. You know.
So yeah. But I mean, it's terrible what's happening down there in Venezuela. This guy is just like, just see these people. It just goes to show you that like that power you can't hold power for too long as an individual. Supreme Court would be a little different as a group of people. They're voting. It's, balance, all that kind of jazz. But as an individual, you just cannot hold power for too long. It just can't be done.
That's why I think every position, senator, Supreme Court justice, term limits. We have to be able to get new people in to get, as things evolve, as our country evolves, got to get people that study up on these things and know, I don't know, just have new ideas and I don't know. I think term limits is a good idea. I think that's so. What term limits, code of ethics, and immunity. Immunity is like I feel like that's another no-brainer because for a president to have immunity is the opposite of how the country started.
Yeah,
it's like no, the president operates under the same laws as any individual. You can't have someone running the country that is not held accountable for breaking any laws.
Agree.
Doesn't make any sense.
It does not make any sense. And the Republicans don't give a shit because it's their guy that might be using it next time around. But what about the precedent of that is kind of crazy. And I think they said in their law, didn't they say in their ruling that it just matters for now or something? The Supreme Court has done that a couple of times.
It matters. It only matters until Trump's
Yeah, I might have it wrong. I might have it wrong, but I feel like they said just in this particular instance or whatever they said, it didn't apply to future because you can't. It's so dangerous. You don't know what we're going to be facing 20 years from now.
Why have immunity at all?
Because he put those people in there and they're paying them back.
Yeah. You committed these crimes, but we'll let it go this time. We'll say we are immune. But next time, that's when we're going to.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
I'll tell you who's got to go is that Clarence Thomas. That guy.
Oh, man. Corrupt.
He's taking money. He's fucking. I don't know. It's not that great. Not good. Not good. Not good. Speaking of not good, newly surfaced text messages show that authorities knew about Thomas Matthew Crooks a half hour before previously reported. Text messages between Beaver County Emergency Service Unit obtained by the New York Times revealed a more concrete and earlier timeline leading up to the shooting that grazed former President Donald Trump's ear. The message also revealed that Crooks 20 was aware of the law enforcement presence as he prepared his assassination attempt. A counter sniper texted at 4:26 p.m. Someone followed our lead and snuck in and parked by our cars, just so you know. He texted another colleague. This is a counter sniper. I'm just letting you know because you see me go out with my rifle. I put it in my car, so he knows you guys are up there sitting sitting to the direct right on a picnic table about 50 yards from the exit. He wrote about Crooks. Around 5:10 p.m., Crooks was below the counter snipers who were inside the AGR International Building warehouse, where he eventually went to the top. One of the counter snipers took a photo of him and shared it in a group chat around 5:38 p.m. An officer wrote in the text that they should tell the Secret Service about the suspicious person, as the rangefinder he had on him alarmed authorities. The text reads, kid learning around the building we are in. AGR, I believe it is. I did see him with a rangefinder looking towards stage. FYI, if you want to notify SS snipers to look out, I lost sight of him. Another message provided to the New York Times by Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa said, call it into command and have uniform check it out. The photos were shared with the Secret Service through a series of steps at the command center, according to the newspaper. Another message in the group text guessed that Crooks moved toward the back of the complex of the AGR buildings away from the event at about 6 p.m. But it was around that time that Crooks was on the roof just minutes before he opened fire. The texts show authorities knew about the suspicious person, who ended up being Crooks, close to 100 minutes before the shooting, not an hour as was originally reported, before the assassination attempt. So add another 30 or 40 minutes onto this, that they knew this kid was running around, and they were texting back and forth with each other, and they still couldn't put together that he was up on that roof. And
so many weird things about this. The texting, like, I feel like, why isn't this on comms?
Radio?
Yeah. Like, hey, there's a guy, why am I texting? That just seems weird. I'm glad that I'm glad they did, because now there's like a paper trail, but I feel like a little more urgency would have been, hey, there's a guy, I lost him. He probably went this way, this way, obviously it'll go to everybody, and it's a little more, like I said, urgency, just to get eyes on this guy. So they knew he was in the vicinity for 100 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many questions. How long did they lose track of him? When did they regain sight of him? Is it only when he got on the roof? And how long was he on the roof before he opened fire? And how were they watching him before he opened fire, or did they just notice him when the shots rang out?
They picked him up at the last second. Yeah.
So he was able to get on the roof. Yeah.
I'm confused. They saw him on the roof an hour before?
No, they
saw him walking around.
They saw him walking around.
And he had the rangefinder looking at the stage.
And as we found out, sorry, Jason, as we found out, though, he flew a drone earlier in the afternoon around the site, too.
How did they know that?
They found it.
They found the drone. Oh, I guess they found. Okay, so he recorded video of, so that when they get to his house, I guess, or his car, they found the drone.
Found the drone.
Very strange.
I mean, the amount of stuff. Wait, add on to this, and again, I don't want to propose conspiracy theories, but explain it to me.
I think it's just a incompetence.
No, but I was about to say something else.
Oh, sorry.
Because Democrats are all over. There are people out there that still believe that this was all a hoax and that this was all put on, and I do not believe that.
There's a guy that's dead. Yeah,
I don't believe any of that. But Trump's rolling around now, and I know this. I've confirmed this. I saw a photo of him from the 26th. That's what, Friday?
Yeah.
There's not even a scab on his ear. How is that possible?
Is it a confirmed photo? Like, where'd you see the photo? Where'd you get it from?
Confirmed Reuters photo from a fundraiser in West Palm Beach, Florida, July 26th. They did a close-up shot of his ear. It doesn't even look like anything.
Like there's a little piece missing? Nothing?
Nothing. Now, wouldn't you assume a little C-cut piece, a little chip out of the thing, at least a scab?
Yeah, if not that, yeah.
I mean,
maybe it's scraped by it and didn't go through the ear and just like, what is it called? Like skinned it, you know what I mean? Just
I don't know, but can you explain? Like, because I believe that he was shot. I saw the blood. I'm down with all of it. I think that the bandage was probably necessary, But you look at this thing, and we're just a few weeks out, and it's like not even a discoloration, nothing.
I don't know what the ear looked like right after. I know it was bloody, but I don't know how long it takes for the ear to heal. But you'd think there would be a scar, you're right, a scab, stitches, whatever it was. But again, maybe it grazed his ear and just open, like a flesh wound kind of a thing, and didn't require stitches. I don't know. I don't know what the damage was. Maybe there are, I'm sure, I doubt he'll ever release them, but maybe there's like medical.
I feel like photos. I feel like you have to. I feel like you have to, because you walk around with that bandage. I mean, at least keep the bandage on for another few weeks so that it's like, all right, well, it's been 2 months. So, it's totally entirely healed.
Yeah, maybe got just a boatload of Neosporin and it healed in a couple days.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Weird.
So it looked genuine. Everything. I'm not jumping on board with any conspiracies. I think it happened. He got shot in the ear. The guy behind him in the crowd got killed. A couple of people got injured pretty badly. And they took the other guy the sniper got the would-be assassin got taken out. So if it's a hoax, then there's no. I can't imagine it being that. I don't see that being the case.
It's very, very strange. It's very, very strange. I was with family over this weekend, and they were saying that that when it happened, it was one of the more chaotic moments in history. And I didn't realize it, but it's the truth. Like, we were all talking too. Remember, we were actually all like friends again.
And then what happened? Go ahead.
But it was like it's the truth. Like, it was so bizarre. It was such an event and a to-do. Like, the amount of conversation and talk in that 4-hour window when it happened, or 6-hour window from the time that happened to the time that everybody went to bed and stuff like that, was an insane little period of time.
Everybody was on board with the same. Yeah, because that was the thing. Everybody had the same message, basically, for the most part. It was all, I hope he's okay. This is, nobody wants this. This is a tragedy.
How many times did you and your wife have sex that night after hearing about it?
It had to be a lot. I'm guessing a lot.
She must have had the most amazing organisms. What do you think?
Always. No.
I think Frank and Aaron watched it over and over again on replay, like porn.
All right.
Yeah, I think so too. Frank was like, Aaron, move out of the way. I got to see this.
Okay.
And when his shoes flew off, then Frank exploded.
All right.
I could believe that. I don't know what. Do you hear that porn music?
What is going on?
Are you
about to light some candles and get a massage?
Dude, these fucking ads, I can't take it anymore. I swear to God.
That's what it sounded like in Frank's bedroom while the Trump video continuously played on loop.
It's so true. You know what made me? All right, we'll get to.
I'm cracking myself up. Go ahead.
As long as Janine's having a good time. Yeah, again, I'm telling you, man. Yeah, maybe I'll better not. I say that. Let's go to the next.
Thank you, Rhoda.
And get people in trouble over here.
Everybody defending me in the chat. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I'll say this, because again, I was with family over the weekend. Where I was with family, it's a lot of close beach houses, so you can hear lots of conversation coming from other porches and other backyards and stuff. Oh my God. And the amount of times I heard, wouldn't it have just been so much better if they hit him?
Oh my God.
Let me ask you, was that coming from your porch? Definitely.
Well, quite possibly, but more so other porches. But I'm telling you, people really think that way. They really, really do. I'm not saying I do or anybody here on the show does.
No.
Yeah, I mean, people definitely feel that way. Hold on. I don't think so. Frank's too nice to be happy someone got shot out. Is that what you're thinking, Rhoda, for?
Thank you, Rhoda. Yes.
My kid is still asking me about that, though, by the way. He asked me yesterday. He's like, did they ever find out why he tried to do that? I go, no, buddy, I don't. There's not going to be a reason why. He still can't figure it out.
Does he watch the show? I mean, he'll get all his answers from the AOA podcast.
I don't know. But I think my mom's working on him because he keeps bringing things up to me. And I'm like, where are you getting this stuff from?
He's like, sit down and watch CNN. Shut up.
He goes, Dad, I think I'm pulling for Biden. I'm like, Michael, stop talking.
Oh, now he's got to root for Kamala.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he realized that yet. He hasn't gotten that part of it yet. That there's a switch. Right. That a switch has occurred.
Give it a week.
Yeah. By the way, neither has the mainstream media because every one of them keeps saying the Biden campaign when it's no longer his campaign. All of them, even the CNN people, they're all screwing it up. Anyway, there's a Google bias out there. Just always a fun thing to bring up time and time again because we were well aware of the Google bias, but just in case people need a reminder, when you search Google, was that me or is that so? Did you hear that?
No, that's me.
Sorry.
I'm hearing, yeah.
A Google feature omits search results for failed Trump assassination. Big tech accused of election manipulation. Google users searching for the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump were miffed when the desired results failed to populate on the search engine. You know, when you type in something and it tries to finish your sentence of what you're searching for. So when you type in assassination attempt on the number, here's what comes up: Reagan, Hitler, Bob Marley, Lenin, Gerald Ford, Truman, Teddy Roosevelt, William Seward, Franklin Roosevelt, and Andrew Johnson. Trump is nowhere to be found. They even went on to say assassination attempt on TRUM, and at that it goes to Truman. It goes to how many presidents have had assassination attempts, assassination attempt on President Truman, and assassination attempt on Harry Truman. Trump did not pop up.
Wow.
Once.
I'm just looking right now. He's number 7.
Oh, now he's number 7?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm wondering if somebody went in there and did a little since this morning. Yeah. Since this afternoon, I should say, when this first started to get reported.
That's a little weird.
Oops.
Yeah. Because I also saw a screenshot. Let me see if I can find it. I saved a screenshot of somebody who, okay, here it is. When you search Donald Trump or if you search President Donald Trump on Google, the stories that pop up are news about Kamala Harris. And then it says Donald Trump. When you search Kamala Harris, news about Kamala Harris pops up and nothing about Donald Trump pops up. But that is because Google searches, by the way, are so regional. Like, people don't really realize that, but they are based on region. And a lot of that comes from the business side of it. I mean, if you're like, where's the good pizza place? You know, that Google can't populate that by national popularity. It's got to be by the region. So all searches, I need a jewelry place or whatever it is, all those searches are regional based. But there is something to the fact that and this has been historical, that Google pushes Democratic ideology versus Republican. I mean, that's why DuckDuckGo became such a big popular thing for a while there, because that was supposedly not based on any sort of regionality or whatever.
Am I the only one that uses Bing? I don't use Bing.
Okay. I was going to say, but that didn't surprise me at all because you still don't plug in your phone in the car. So
I can't physically plug in the phone. The plug-in part doesn't work.
Your world is going to be, wait until you get a new phone. New iPhone's coming up. iOS 18. You going to join the crew?
No.
You're not getting in on the
cult? You see the new Galaxy?
No.
It stands up. It has it's good.
It stands up on its own?
Yeah, it bends, it folds in half, and it's like a camera mount almost. It bends so that like the camera can
sit on its own?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's pretty cool looking. Yeah,
they say there's an iPhone that's a foldable iPhone that they have a couple of them. They haven't pulled the trigger on any of them yet, but they're going to. They say, I don't know. I don't think we need foldable phones anymore, though.
Well, I don't know what you want from me. I'm not making the phones.
Mm.
I could use a foldable phone. I mean, as long as it does the same shit.
You know what's weird, though, and it's just proof that we just don't live in the same world anymore. Like, we really don't. So I went to Jersey over the weekend, all my Google searches were different. My TikTok algorithm was completely different. My Facebook algorithm was completely like I started noticing a lot of different, like it was pushing a lot of Jersey Shore things on me, and like
that makes sense.
It does, but it's just like I traveled, I don't even know, 160 miles away, 120 miles away, and the way I got to view the world from there was entirely different than I do when I'm here. Doesn't it weird you out a little bit?
Well, what was different? Just the locations and the places, or was it like what else? What do you mean your view of the world?
Like it was just when if I would normally get hockey videos and whatever, like my normal shit is toe fetishes, all that kind of stuff that I'm used to.
Right.
Then I go there and it's like, this is the best, spot on the Jersey Shore beach, or you got to go to this deli for the sandwiches, or, that kind of stuff. It was like, I just,
right.
Yeah. I just noticed a whole huge like shift while I was there.
Well, it probably is when you go to a new place, you have to start, like if you're there for a week, you're not going to see too much, but if you once you start using it more and more and more, it'll become like your
like I noticed it. I was in Chicago for 3 days last year, the year before that. I noticed it on day 3 there, but I was also searching a lot. This time around, I wasn't like necessarily searching more, but I just noticed it popping up like a lot more, like and fast, like immediately when I first got there. It was just like,
well, because you live in the middle of nowhere now, and you were in Jersey and probably had better connection and signal.
True. Yeah, very true.
Your internet sucks where you are.
Oh my God, please. I was screaming at Optimum this morning. Okay, here's what drives me crazy.
Oh, here we go. Buckle up.
What is the time? This should be national. Forget Supreme Court reform. Forget it. We need to come together and figure out what is an acceptable time limit for those customer service cocksuckers to put you have not responded. The chat has gone idle. Are you still there? What's the acceptable amount of time? Because I just did a thing with Optimum and that fucking thing popped up not 10 seconds after he asked me a question.
So wait. He asked you an automated thing. He asked you a question.
It's not an automated thing. When you finally get somebody on the chat who's supposedly a real person, and they go, "I noticed I noticed you haven't answered in a while. Are you still there?"
Well, did you leave the screen? Did you go to a different?
No. He asked me a question. I started figuring out how do I tell you that where in the story do I need to start to tell you the answer to this? And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I noticed you're not answering it, and so I was like, "No, I'm here." And then I finished my answer, and then he said another thing to me. I did get distracted for a moment, so I'm answering my kid, and then I go back. It's there again.
I'm gonna have that as my when I text someone and they don't get back to me for a while, I'm gonna send. I've noticed you haven't. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. I'm with Optimum on this one.
I fucking
answer me while we're talking. And don't I text you and then all of a sudden I don't hear from you for an hour. Come on.
I'm enraged over it. I'm mad at myself because I just closed the window in anger, but I should have screenshotted. He wrote it 3 times in our brief conversation. 3. You can't fucking wait around for me. I got in touch
with the bathroom. What do you want? You had to go. It's like I could help you, but it's got to be soon, buddy.
Cocksucking fucking. I'll tell you, Optimum, they're the worst. They are the fucking cable is the worst.
And you can't make that. You can't make any other. There's no other service out by you.
Yeah, wait. I got this is what bothers me about customer service. Well, it's customer service in the house. In the house, in the store. Okay, so most stores have bag your own these days, right?
Right.
Yeah, another reason why our country's going to shit.
Five Below no longer has cashiers. Every pays it's all bag your own. Well, since so many people steal, again, now we have to go back to do bag your own, but you know what? The cashier is going to help you. Oh, but she can't help you because she's helping someone else. She can only help one person at a time. So, what is the fucking point? Now, go back to regular cashiers then, if that's the point. If that's what you're going to do. It bothers me at Five Below. Me and this girl were talking about it the other day. We're like, how stupid is this? And even the cashier was like, this is the most dumbest thing. She goes, but, too many people steal. So...
Yeah, people ruin it for other people. It's like,
so there's one person now that has to run to each little spot and help you bag your shit to make sure you're not stealing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, they just check your receipt at the door, like Costco or something.
Oh, that's another thing that's got to go. Enough already with your fake bullshit.
I know. Come on, you're not even looking at it. You're not even looking at it.
Yeah. Are they really checking all the stuff in your cart?
You know, it's funny. I go to Costco. I ran to Costco once I got to Jersey, and my daughter comes in with me, and I give her the receipt because she likes to hand it to the person. And she goes, "Dad, last time they drew a smiley face for me," and I was like, "Oh, that's sweet." And in my head, I'm going, "No, they didn't. You have to stop lying." She hands the guy the thing. He turns around. He drew a smiley face for her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They always do that. I was gonna say that. That's not lying.
They don't draw fucking smiley faces for me. Nobody ever gave me a fucking smiley face.
Well, you're miserable. A smiley face isn't gonna do anything.
I never got that kind of shit,
I wonder if that's like policy. Like if you see
like a little kid or something.
Kid, you could do that for them.
Probably. I would guess it is. I don't know.
Next time, if you get it 3 times in a row.
Yeah, we'll have to see. You want to laugh? My mother had COVID last week, so my father.
Why am I laughing?
So my father goes to the CVS. My father goes to my CVS right here in the corner, which I frequent quite often. And he grabs like 4 COVID tests, turns around and walks right out the door. And we know this because he comes home and he goes, I went to go pick up COVID tests and the alarms went off. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, when I walked out, the alarms went off. I said, did you take it back to the register? He goes, no. I go, you just walked out? He goes, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I was like, the person when you checked out, they didn't say anything? He goes, no, I didn't check out. He goes, when I was walking out. I go, now in my head, I go, wait, do I have to ask him if he paid for these? I go, Dad, did you pay for them? You don't have to pay for these. They're free. I go, what? Oh. He goes, yeah, in Florida, they're free. You just take them and you go. And I go, we're not in Florida anymore. So he just stole 4 COVID tests from CVS.
Good. Jeez. So you just ratted out your father.
I'll be honest with you. They probably have millions stolen across CVS's a day.
Yeah.
And also, that's like not even a big item. So they wouldn't even go after him for that. Supposedly they're not allowed to go after you unless it's more than $1,500.
According to all those videos we see online, now I'm waiting for my father to surface in one of those videos.
Oh, God.
And don't lie, your father didn't go there for COVID test. He went there for your mother's gonorrhea meds.
Well, he would have had to pay for that.
No, in Florida where he lives, they give it out for free.
Oh, it's like Pez.
Right.
Well, in that swinger town, that is swinger capital of the world down there. I think I did tweet the photo of the stool softener and the shovel.
Who needed the stool softener? That's what I want to know.
My mother did. Sorry, Mom. I should have said a family member. That was rude. Family member did. We'll scrub that before we go live. Yeah, and I got to the counter and the guy was like he stayed on me for a second. Like I put the stuff down and I looked up and he looked at me and we looked at each other and I was like, what's his problem? And then he slowly took the items. It didn't break eye contact with me and checked out because I literally bought a stool softener and a small beach shovel because I snapped the beach shovel earlier that morning. I went to go grab it out of the thing and it snapped it, so I felt bad and I found it at the store. I bought another one and I was like, well, this is actually a crazy combination now that I think about it.
That's a story. That's I've got a mission and these 2 items are gonna help me on this mission.
Yeah, it was a little strange.
I need to go shit in the woods and bury it. That's what's happening.
Two things that I missed while being with my weekend of the family, the opening ceremony stuff. People are very upset that it looked like the Last Supper or something. I don't know what happened.
I'm surprised you didn't have that. That was a big talk.
Drag Queen Last Supper was the. I don't know what happened. Supper. It wasn't the Last Supper. What was it?
I knew this Democrat would say that. Actually, I'm very surprised.
You knew this Democrat would say the truth. Got it.
No. Okay. Do you consider yourself a child of God, Frank?
Yes.
Frank's the biggest God person on this podcast. Let's be honest.
Well, you don't believe in God at all, so
that's not necessarily true.
You don't believe in organized religion?
I have a very big problem with organized religion. I don't have as much of a problem with God as I do religion. I have a very big problem with religion.
I think Frank is. Would you consider yourself very religious, Frank?
Not like I don't go to church every Sunday. I believe in God, and I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm very, over the top religious.
I would say you're more religious than I thought you were.
Okay.
And I've known you for like 75 years.
Wait, say that again?
Frank was more religious than I thought he was. Because we recently had a conversation about this, and I was really surprised at how religious you are.
Okay, so my thing is, I'd say Frank and his brother are very religious.
Now, Frank's brother, I always knew was religious.
My brother more than I am.
Frank's brother definitely thinks that was the Last Supper depicted. Now, I have to say, I wish.
Wait, is that official? Are you quoting him? Because if.
Oh yeah, you didn't see his Facebook?
Well, fact check it. If it's not a lie, I'm going to scream fake media at you.
Okay, let's see.
All right. Go. No, I'll take your word for it. Go ahead, finish the story.
I'm partial now because I didn't see the opening ceremonies when they actually were live. Like I saw it later on when everybody went crazy about this. So I can't have. It's too late for me to have a clear opinion because it's all in my head already.
You didn't get it. You didn't get it fresh. You didn't witness it live. You saw the replay. Yeah, I got that.
I can't, but I will say that one of the guys' nutsacks was hanging out, and I found that to be fucking hysterical.
I thought I did see that too. Here's the problem with the world right now. I saw that too, and I just thought, I don't know if this is real or not, and I don't have the time to find out. And I just
it was real. Oh, honey,
his sack was out.
Oh yes.
Answer this question for me: was this person related to you, i.e., your brother?
Surprisingly, no. But here's the thing:
that is surprising.
So it was all drag queens, so they were all obviously tucking, and since I don't have a nutsack, I don't know how you tuck for a long time. Well, I know people use tape, but is there a special drag queen tape just for your nutsacks? Well,
probably.
I'm sure they have a way they do it that's not totally uncomfortable.
We've talked about this before, though. If my penis is not in its comfortable area, I'm very young. I need to adjust. Tucking down is horrible to me. I don't know how they do it. I give them all the credit in the world.
Now I'm Google searching Olympic nutsack.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got to be some interesting results.
Obviously, it was an accident. The guy didn't mean for that to happen.
Or did he pull it out to be like, maybe people will see my dick on TV? It looked eerily like the AI drawing that we put out, though, didn't it? Janine, did you see that?
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
I put out an AI drawing, and there was this weird phallic shape near this guy's area, and it kind of reminded me of that because it was like a weird, just little slice of skin down there.
Well, I can't imagine that the person meant for that to happen. If that's the case, it was an accident.
It's weird because it's awful if it's an accident. It's awesome if he did mean it.
So I have a question for the both of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and I know you've done it, so please don't tell me you've never done it. Have you ever? What's the longest that you have tucked for? I know you've done it as a joke. So
yeah, that's
how
what I'm
long?
trying to think. I'm sure it's been done as a gag at some point, but no, I don't know if I've ever actually done that naked for somebody.
No.
I don't really know. I can't give you a good answer, and I also can't give you a funny answer, which is very frustrating.
Darn it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
I don't know. But were they trying to do the Last Supper, or that's not what they were going for?
I heard it was a depiction of a different painting that was supposed to. It was the feast of, I forget what it was called, but people were mistaking for the Last Supper. I'm sorry.
It's the Feast of Bacchus, I think.
Oh, I did hear that.
Or
yeah,
Dionysus or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I heard it was supposed to be. Then people are saying no, they apologize. Christine in the chat was saying no, they admitted what it was and apologized, but they didn't mean any harm by it. They just, there over the years, I feel like there have been many depictions of the Last Supper. People have put in their own characters or whoever, and nobody. I don't understand. Nobody
gives a shit.
Well, the thing is, it's the Olympics, so I think that they were trying to say that it was being forced again. I think that's what the biggest problem is.
Forced?
Yeah, it sounds like people didn't have anything to be offended by over the weekend, and they just picked that.
I mean,
well, did you see the video, Anthony, or no?
I briefly, like in just scrolling Twitter, just briefly saw it a little bit. It looked like they were all laying across, like they were all.
There wasn't certainly more than 12 or 13 people, and
let's be honest. You were just looking for that nutsack, huh?
That was no. Well, it leads me to my second thing of over the weekend. The amount of JD Vance as a couch fucker posts I've seen.
Oh man,
couch fucker.
Yeah,
you didn't hear. So you saw the Olympic nut, but you didn't hear about the potential vice president admitting that he banged a couch.
No, I did not.
Well, he didn't. Okay, let's. All right,
wasn't it in a book? In a book that he wrote?
Yeah, let's reset. So in Hillbilly Elegy, the book that he wrote, the character fucks a couch at one point.
Oh, and like you guys don't act like you guys have never fucked a couch, but okay.
So I thought Hillbilly Elegy was like a.
It's autobiographical.
It's autobiographical. Okay.
It's a story that he wrote about his journey, but I don't know if he came out and said it's not. He didn't actually do that part of it, which is kind of a weird thing. Or I don't know if he said that this time around, or if he said that in the past that he didn't actually do that part of it. But the amount of people, like I just saw a couch that had like like that corduroy like finish on it, and it said ribbed for his pleasure.
Yeah, that's a potential vice president, folks.
Oh my God, that made me laugh so hard. And then I can't get this vision. Oh, then some other guy, there was like a porn set, and like the people are like walking to the couch, and the guy was like, JD Vance pauses it here before they get on the couch and get naked. It's just the couch. That fucking made me laugh. And then somebody else saying JD Vance jerks off to the IKEA catalog. I mean, which is all good, all gold. It's all gold.
Which nobody read his book who vetted JD Vance as a potential vice president. Nobody read this book, because if they did, they would have been like, "You want to talk about this for a little bit?"
the couch fucking. We gotta
hammer that out. We gotta be ready to answer these questions.
Let's do 15 on the couch fucking, just so we're prepared. We know. Oh
man,
look, Robin, the couch had no comment. I don't know, is Paul defending him here? He doesn't fuck the couch.
All right,
sometimes you fuck the couch, sometimes the couch fucks you.
There we go.
It's not in the book, Paul says. Oh, was that a fake thing?
Well, I saw something else too that was like, oh, that page was missing from the book, or they stopped printing it or something. But I'm pretty sure it was in the original. If I'm mistaken, then I apologize. I apologize to the potential future vice president.
That seems to be the big story, though, with him.
Well, they're obsessing over the cat lady, childless cat lady
that one
thing.
too, which he totally just comes off like an asshole and an idiot.
Comes off like an asshole. I don't know if it was that big of it. I don't know.
No, he says the country is potentially being run by childless cat women who have no stake in the future, and he name checks Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg, who both have children. By the way,
she has stepchildren.
She has stepchildren, and
he adopted.
And he has kids. So I don't know what this idiot's talking about.
But a gig.
Yeah. By the way, Buttigieg has been doing the round. That motherfucker is talking.
That guy.
Every time he does an appearance, he comes off very, very well.
I think he would be a future when he could run for president.
Maybe in the future. I just hope they do not put him on the ticket now.
Why?
He's brilliant. He's doing very well. I hope he gets a big role in the administration, but I hope he gets bumped up from bus secretary. But I don't. The amount of bigotry and homophobia still in this country. I don't
expose it all.
Now's not the time. Now's not the time if you're trying to win an election. Maybe
you'll think it'll cost votes.
100%. First of all, I feel this way. Anybody not with the last name Shapiro, I don't think she can win. I just don't. I think you have to pick him, and that's the end of story. Done. There's no convincing me of anything else otherwise. I haven't seen an argument yet for anybody. They keep pushing this Gabby Gifford's husband there, Kelly, and how great he is and how much of a...
I don't know anything about any of these other people.
Well, he's more of a middle-of-the-road, very conservative, kind of a Democrat and all that, and he'd be a uniter and all this bullshit, and people threw Mitt Romney in there and all kinds of crazy shit, and
Buttigieg is he's so smart. You watch him on any interview, and he has every fact in his head, and he comes out with it, and he schools everybody.
He's been impressive. I will give you that. He has been very, very impressive. He's been very good. He's been very good.
I could see him being president in the future. He would, no problem.
It just goes to show you, though, that the one thing that Biden failed at is bringing on that next class. Again, he made him bus secretary. Kamala has been nowhere, this entire 4 years. He didn't bring these people along all that well, because you look at how much they're shining in the last week and a half, and you're like, where the fuck was this the last 3 years? Why wasn't this more of a thing for the last 3 years? Why weren't we saying how wonderful Pete Buttigieg was and all that stuff? I mean, I've seen Pete Buttigieg interviews prior to the last week and a half. He has not been this charismatic and wonderful. Not that he was bad, but I'm just saying.
I've seen interviews over the last 3-4 years. No, he's been sharp as a tack.
No. He's every pitch is going over the fence with this guy the last week and a half. He's done well, but there is a
fumbled interview.
There is a sexual harassment charge against Shapiro. I saw that Thursday or Friday.
I'm sorry. Who's Shapiro?
Josh Shapiro is the governor of Pennsylvania, and he's being considered for VP because Pennsylvania is one of the swing states, 20 electoral votes. You can't win the election without Pennsylvania, it looks like, for possibly both of them. Trump might have a path without it, but she does not. She just does not. They need to win that state in order to win. And outside of Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, a little bit, there's not a lot of Democratic places. So it's, they did elect a Democrat governor, but still, it's been a state that could swing red for a long time. And
I think it's
she needs it to win.
If what you're saying is true, I think it's a shame that Buttigieg isn't a shoo-in.
Buttigieg, I had no problem with the guy. I feel like, outside of the slightly longer than comfortable paternity leave, even though I think we should all get paternity leave, I think it's a lovely thing to have. he still is. I don't know anybody who takes that long a time off. So I think that
How long did he
criticism of
take?
him was fair. I figured it was like 2 months or something, 3 months or something like that.
That's not a lot. You had twins.
No, I understand. I understand, but you're doing really well for yourself. Pop a nanny in there and get your ass to the office. You're
Well,
a
that's not
leader.
a newborn or new kid, whatever. 2 months is not that long.
Again, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I feel like it's the part of our society of where we're at, and I think leadership wise, you get in there and you make it happen. You say, I'm in charge of buses. It's not that big of a deal. I can show up in the office and make sure all the buses are running on time. It's not that big of a deal. Your transportation secretary. It's not like your secretary of state or something like that.
Ever.
Just show up and do the job. So outside of that, I have no problem with the guy. He could have my vote if I believed in all his other shit. I could care less how many penises he licks. Doesn't bother me one iota.
Okay.
He might not lick them.
He might not lick him. He might. I don't know what he's doing. Doesn't matter to me. I think it matters to too many people in this country, which makes me sad, but I think that's the truth.
What happened with? Yeah.
I think wrapping their head around voting for a woman is a challenge enough that you don't really need to add a second thing to that.
It doesn't. I mean, we should be way ahead of this.
How's her driving record? But
I don't know. As a society, we should be.
We should be more farther. I agree. I agree.
It shouldn't matter.
I agree. And then I drive around Suffolk County and I go, oh no, we're not there yet.
So disgusting.
I don't know about your neighborhood, Janine, but I see a lot of I don't know. See a lot of backwards ass shit.
Like what? Like I don't know where you live. Even when you live, I don't think it's backwards, but okay.
Not backwards, but I mean, let's talk about the amount of talk about the fact that she's a woman. I feel like a lot of people have a problem with her being a woman. They don't think that a woman could do that job. You kind of see that like time and time again. What was the other thing that JD Vance said? He said something about his wife. Oh, it was like I don't know. She's not white. His wife is of Indian descent. He goes, she's not white or whatever. But like JD Vance wanted to go give her a compliment, his wife a compliment, and it came off just horrific sounding. I can't recall what it is right now at this moment, but I don't know. And all that Nikki Haley and Tulsi Gabbard, all these Republican women who seem more than capable, can't get a leg ahead in that party.
Yeah, because they're living in the 50s and they don't want to move forward at all. It's all about the past. I don't understand that. The Republican Party is very old school. Just very 100 years ago is when where they want to be, and I don't get it.
And Iowa went ahead and passed an abortion ban now, so that I forget where it is, but most women, when do you find out you're pregnant? Like 3-4 weeks, 5 weeks sometimes.
The normal thing is 4 to 5 weeks.
4 to 5 weeks, right? So obviously you miss a period. That's 4 to 5 weeks, right? Roughly. You couldn't get an abortion once you found the ban kicks in Iowa now prior to when most people find out. And and Iowa just passed that into law today. Not
really?
a great.
I didn't hear anything about this now today. Maybe I was too busy today. Let's see.
Were you too busy? They didn't have this on Fox News where you like to
hang. Doesn't make any sense. It's
it's 6 weeks, but that's stupid.
You got one guy to thank for that.
That's a tight time frame right there. Then if it's 6 weeks, okay. And she was out there today, and I think it's J Sabs, you tell me. I feel the sense that I'm getting is a lot of women are piping up about this now and are like, this is kind of unacceptable.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's all about religion. There's a lot of people out there who are extremely religious and are against abortion, against birth control.
Yeah, which is fine. Then don't get an abortion, don't have birth control, you do you. Just don't tell other people what to do.
Right,
Sorry,
but
go ahead.
unfortunately, this is what.
Are you okay? Can you let her get
What
a
democracy
thing
is.
out?
I can't. I'm sorry. I apologize. Jay Sabs.
We're trying to let the woman talk. We're doing a whole thing
Yes,
about
that's-
women
I-
empowerment.
I shouldn't have said
You
a
just
word. I'm so
proved-
sorry.
You just
The
proved.
man is.
I take it. I take back everything I just said. Go ahead, Jay Sabs. All you. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I overstepped, and it's
That's a typical
ahead.
woman move. No, I don't want to talk.
No, it's fine. Nothing's wrong. Well,
No, what are you and your
pro-choice.
Republican girlfriends talking about? Tell us. Is this
I
bothering you
have
guys?
Republican girlfriends except for your wife. I am pro-choice, but it is a very sensitive subject. Like I said, there are religious people who want this across the board. I don't think you should. But again, these are laws in the country which are dumb to me. I could care less who has an abortion. Unfortunately, and it is a small percentage, there are people who use abortions as birth control. I will say that where I worked, the only people who came in for abortions were of older people who were married and had kids, and they didn't want to have another.
Ooh, I did not expect you to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody just assumes it's some young kid who made a
Nope.
mistake, So that's
the
interesting.
those numbers are very, very low.
So
That's
I
statistic.
will. I'm not saying they didn't use it as birth control, but from what I saw, that was the majority of people who wanted an abortion. So that's
Interesting.
I think it's contrary to what people, like you said, like young person getting pregnant and oops, this happened and I don't want this anymore, or I never wanted it. But it was not. It was not at all.
Well,
so
it's about the woman's right to choose and everything, right? I mean, that's the whole scope of it. It should be up to the woman, the doctor, the couple involved, and the doctors. That's it. Well, I don't know why politicians should be involved.
Yeah, that's stupid. But I mean, people try to control everything with everybody's lives, so it's stupid.
Right.
Who let Jay Sabs out of the kitchen? That's funny. And contrary to what people have said, late-term abortions, they don't happen. Meaning, they happen when they have to happen.
It's very rare, right? Yeah.
Nobody at 26 weeks or 30 weeks wakes up and goes, you know what? I don't want this baby anymore. That does not happen.
Because I feel like at that point, you're like, we'll give it up for adoption.
And I have friends who are actual OB doctors, and they've not experienced that.
You have OG doctor friends? That's amazing.
OB.
Oh, sorry. Bad earphones.
And so like that just, it does not happen.
So you mean Trump was lying at the RNC?
No, I think they're all lying about it. Because if it does happen, there's a reason why it has to happen, basically.
Right.
Either like the most of the time it's the babies who they just learn that they have like a diagnosis that they're not going to be compatible with life, or if they are born, they're going to live with just a horrible way of life. So people choose to abort. And that is a very tough decision too.
Sure.
I will say. But, on both sides, people say things just to appease other people to get votes, which I think is stupid.
Well, and it looks like this is going to backfire on the Republicans big time. Like we've already seen Trump position it as it's what the people wanted, which fell flat on its face. And
he's saying,
and now we're getting some of these states that are actually putting these things into, which is like, what's amazing is Trump called the Republicans and got them to back off the border deal that Biden had put together. He got them to stop that because it would have looked bad for his campaign. I don't know why he can't get these state legislators now to stop with this.
Because that's not what he wants.
I know, but I have to be honest with you. I don't think he wants any of this. I think he wants to win. And he thought by putting Republican judges on the court, I will win. That's what he was thinking at the time. I don't think he thought that they were really going to do this.
Well, he's out there going, I'm the one who took down Roe v. Wade. It's, he's taking all the credit. He's like,
because again, he's trying to get those evangelical and Christian votes.
Well, he's proud. He's out there saying it, and he's proud of it. He's not saying,
I don't think you're going to hear him say it much more from here on out, because I think it's not
whether he says it or not. Whether he says it or not, that's what happened. And he was at the RNC going, oh, they want to have abortions up until and even after the baby is born. It's like, what are you talking about?
That's murder.
You're an idiot.
Yeah,
he's such an idiot. He'll just say he'll say anything to sound like he knows what he's talking about, but it's lie, and he just makes it up as he goes. I saw a video today. Everyone was showing me that this woman, and it made sense. I'm watching. I'm going, yeah, holy shit. When he was saying the whole Hannibal Lecter thing, remember that? He was saying that the people coming from Mexico, the late great Hannibal Lecter coming across the border, because he doesn't know that there are. This video, I forget who said it. Someone put out this video explaining. I wish I can give credit, but he doesn't know that there's two meanings to the word asylum, because these asylum seekers come across. He thinks that there are people that literally escaped from asylums, coming to America. He doesn't realize that asylum seekers are people trying to flee violence in their country, and are trying to seek refuge. So it sounds like, he's like, oh, asylum seekers, they're late great Hannibal Lecter, because Hannibal Lecter escaped from a mental institution, and that's what he's. So it seems like he doesn't know that asylum has two meanings, and he thinks that all these people seeking asylum escaped from a mental institution and are coming across the border. So that's what. And when you look back, you go, holy shit, I think that's right. And I wish I can give credit to the person who put that video up, but it's on YouTube, the shorts or whatever. But it made, as soon as I watched it, I was like, holy shit. Aaron showed it to me. I'm like, holy shit. That makes sense. I mean, why would he bring up Hannibal fucking Lecter?
Yeah, I don't know. I still don't know that one. We lost Jay Sabs, and it's a shame because I just realized she sent me something about a French diver's bulge.
Okay.
So we'll have to say that for Wednesday. Her breakdown of French Olympic diver Jules Boyer.
Okie doke.
He's like he's got a huge cock piece on him from this photograph that I'm looking at. Dear Lord.
Okay. I can't help with his swimming. It's a swimmer, right?
He's a swimmer, yeah. Move over, John Hamm.
That's not going to help with his aerodynamics.
No, I don't think so. You think that's the...
It's going to create some drag.
Yeah, your huge cock is...
slowing you down.
He would have to maybe tape it up in there, squish it up in there. There's not a lot of space. Yeah, I don't think there's not really a lot of places to tuck a huge penis.
Not like a pocket or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's so funny. I mean, if they're literally putting on caps so that their hair doesn't provide more drag,
that should be just to hold that thing down. It's going to slow him down. It's got to cost him a few, fractions of a second.
I feel like if you have a massive penis, you should get to jump in the pool a split second earlier. I feel like it's the only fair thing to do.
That seems fair. I like that.
Marco, so now I am Googling huge French penis.
We didn't make you do that, Mark.
Sorry about that.
On you.
Well, I feel like
Google
50-50.
What you want.
It's kind of our fault. Justin Timberlake, a little update on the old drunken thing. So his lawyer last week said he wasn't indeed drunk. And now his lawyer today is saying when they arrested him, they let Justin Timberlake's more drunk friend drive his car home.
That's great.
They haven't named who that woman is, but he's basically trying to put it on the cops. I don't know what sort of defense he's going for here, but he's trying to put it on the cops by saying that the intoxicated person he was with wound up driving his rental car home, it's a rental car. Just fucking leave it. Who gives a shit? But she wound up driving it home back to her place. By the way, who the hell is this woman? I have no idea. I can't imagine his wife being too pleased with this whole thing that he's out drinking and there's other women there and that kind of shit. Like,
Drinking
could you
and
imagine
driving through wherever?
Frank, could you imagine? Let's play a game. Your old pal Ant gets arrested for driving under the influence, and out of the story comes his female friend drove the car back to her place. What would happen to me from my wife?
Castration and banishment.
I can't even imagine. Like, out of the two scenarios, as I'm calling you in a panic, I would be less concerned with the arrest and more concerned with the woman.
I mean, unless she knows this woman and they're friends or whatever.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's not a great look.
Yeah. It's also so strange to me. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you were on a world tour, I guess it's just actors and musicians. It's a different kind of life. But if I'm on a world tour and I have a 3-day window where I don't have to do anything, I'm not sure I'm going out to the Hamptons with my friends instead of going to Manhattan where my wife is currently working.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I would rather, like, I'll just wait around in the hotel room until you're done and then we'll go get dinner. Like, to me, that is the more mature thing to do.
Well, you're not, Justin Timberlake isn't you. He's Justin Timberlake, and he's kind of a dick.
I feel like, I don't know. It's a weird, like, I have no problem hanging out with my wife. I don't know if I would have, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Again, if I'm working a lot, I'd like to spend some time with her then and not go out drinking with, other people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. Is that a weird thing? Am I the weirdo in this scenario?
No, is that what happened? Like, she was in New York and he was in Montauk?
Yeah, she was in New York when he got arrested because she's filming, I think, a show or a movie. I'm not sure if it's a TV show or a movie.
Yeah.
But she's filming in Manhattan. They have 2 children. You know what I mean? Like, I would have just...
Yeah, it's weird. You're a dad now. Stop with the getting drunk at bar, in Montauk. And
yeah. And like, here's the other thing too.
Dad.
Even if you're gonna get drunk, like, you don't have friends in the city, you can go out for a couple drinks in the city.
Right.
Go to sleep, wake up the next day, spend the morning with your children. I don't know what you're doing 2.5 hours away.
Yeah, that's a weird look.
Seems very, very strange. The last thing, a couple of things with Elon. I think we're going to push the game. We've made an executive decision behind the scenes.
What do you mean? Really?
Yes. Aaron and I have been conversating. We've been discussing as good executive producers do, and she's made the call. We could possibly move this to Friday this week because we can't rush Blind Top 5.
All right.
I will not do it under any sort of rush.
Okay.
I would love Erin to come on, though, if she's got some opinions on Justin Timberlake. She says, I think the lawyer screwed him more by introducing the lady friend. Definitely for his marriage. Like, that would be my phone call. Like, are you fucking stupid? What are you doing? I'd rather go to jail than fucking... Why'd you tell her that the fucking girl was there? Because TMZ, I think, had this particular story, and they're not naming who the woman is, which is a little strange.
You know what else is weird? Like, I feel like celebrity DUIs, they happen, the celebrity serves whatever community service and it's over. I feel like this one, for some reason, it just won't end.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, for some reason, this DUI story just keeps popping up. It's like you hear, all right, this person was DUI. And then a couple weeks later, they're not, it's old news and nobody cares. I mean, it should be a big deal, of course. DUI is a big deal. But for some reason, this one just will not go away. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not sure. I think it's because the blatant Yeah, like he wasn't drunk. I don't know, Aaron. What do you have for this?
I just think it's funny the way he's like, his lawyer is like, it wasn't him. You're like, it was the one-armed man, and it's like the one-armed man is the woman in the car. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. Feels a little weird to me. It's not the same he thinks it is.
I will say it is a little weird if she's also drunk and you're like, all right, go ahead.
Yeah.
So he says the cops let the more drunk woman take the car home. That doesn't seem like something they would do.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's more drunk, but I would say equally as drunk, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, that doesn't seem like something the cops. Why would they stop him and let her go?
According to TMZ, sources who spoke to TMZ said despite being intoxicated herself, the unnamed woman who allegedly had been drinking with Justin Timberlake that night drove his rental car back to her property after Timberlake was taken to jail.
So, I mean, let's say...
Wait, I'm sorry, Frank. Sorry.
Yeah.
She then offered to drive Justin Timberlake to her home where he could stay the night and sober up. The officer, however, refused to let Timberlake go.
And did he spend the night in like lockup?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He spent the night in the police department then. Yeah, in the jail. Yeah.
So what's the maximum? What could happen? He's found guilty of DUI. What's the penalty?
Yeah, I don't even know. A couple of months and how much time do you really spend? Probation. You never did it before. Who knows?
I have no idea. But in New York, driving under the influence. I mean, it's a big deal. I feel like it should be something. There should be a penalty. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But you never, I feel like you never see when celebrities get pulled over for this for some reason.
What's the maximum penalty for going on record saying that she said that he could stay there sober? I mean, it just feels like
a life of shit. A life
oh
of
my
that.
God.
Yeah.
That's a long conversation.
That newborn baby's going to be... Oh, it's time.
Cycle.
Clockwork.
That newborn baby is going to be graduating and she's going to be like, that fucking woman you were with that night. You know what I'm saying? Like...
Yeah.
At college graduation. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a fucking problem.
This is always going to be a thing now.
As it should be for him. Last thing, two things on Elon Musk here.
This dickhead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. One is he got into a tiff with Gavin Newsom, who basically he tweeted a video of like a spoof ad campaign of Kamala Harris saying how she's a diversity hire and she doesn't have or she's run by the deep state, all this kind of jazz.
God.
And so Elon tweeted it, and Gavin Newsom tweeted that he was going to be writing legislation to not allow that sort of thing to happen, which to me is a big misstep for Gavin Newsom, because it's like, should politicians be tweeting this kind of stuff? No. But it's Elon Musk, and humor has to be a part of our world. Like, it was an AI voice generated thing that looked it looked like an ad campaign.
Well, that is dangerous. No?
I mean, it can be in our society filled with idiots and morons who would believe that she would narrate that she's a diversity hire. I mean, come on.
I'm sure there were some. Unless he put at the top, this is a joke. This is a parody. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, but I hate that too, because that ruins the joke when you're just like parody,
For people who see it as a joke, but not everybody's going to see it as a joke. Also, Elon Musk is a giant asshole. So,
well, you know what else was fucked up? I was reading this whole thing about, and I thought this was strange at the time, because Biden had done a speech where he said that GM is leading the charge for electric vehicles, and I was like, that's interesting, because everybody knows that Tesla is the biggest electric vehicle car company that we have in this country. Certainly not the biggest vehicle, automotive company, but biggest EV company. And so I went down the rabbit hole, and it turns out that there was a conference for electric vehicles at the White House, and Biden didn't invite Elon. And then he passed that comment about GM. And like now I know why Elon doesn't like Biden. But as it turns out, because Elon, I think they said 2 out of 3 electric vehicles on the road right now are Tesla in the United States of America. So why didn't he get invited? As it turns out, Tesla is the only car company that doesn't have a union for their workers.
Hello.
And Biden is a union guy, so he didn't invite Elon. He didn't shout him out ever because he was afraid that he was going to lose support of the United Auto Worker Union. And so that's why he basically acted like Elon and Tesla doesn't exist, which is kind of fucked up.
Is it because Elon likes to act like his own child doesn't exist, which I'll talk about, it's infuriating. Can I jump on this for a second?
You can catch everybody up because Frank and I had a conversation off the air. It's only fair that you tell everybody. So
last week we spent a good part of the show talking about how Elon was saying, I'm against all this woke stuff because I lost my kid, my son. I think he said I lost my son. I no longer have a son. And he made it seem like his son was dead. And we were all like, oh my God, that's terrible. It made it seem like the son took his own life. And we were all, oh my God, I can't believe that. That's horrible. No parent. And we were sympathizing and like, no parent should go through that. That's unbelievable. And turns out, I only found out later, I'm sitting here going, oh my God, he lost his son. That's terrible. Only to find out later that his son didn't die at all. His son merely went through a transition and transitioned to a woman. Mm-hmm. And Elon took it and made it sound like his son is dead. And that's why I'll never embrace wokeness and blah, blah, blah. So he pretty much disowned and acts like his own child doesn't exist and is against wokeness because, God.
I was going to say, I don't know if his son fully transitioned because we never got the full story on it.
I don't know how far into, regardless.
Yeah, but he's acting like the puberty blockers took his son away from him is basically what he's saying.
And he made it sound like the puberty blockers screwed with his son's head, and he implied that his son took his own life. That he no longer had a son, and he was gone, and he got all emotional. And we're like, oh my God, that's terrible. And it turns out that his son is really identifies now as a girl. And it's like, well, no, you didn't lose your son, you idiot, you insensitive piece of shit. This is your child. You love your child no matter what. You're a dick.
Yeah, I'm laughing because Frank, like, out of nowhere texted me. What was that, Saturday or Friday or Thursday? I don't even remember.
I don't know, Saturday maybe.
But you were like, wait, is the kid's not dead? And I was like, no.
And I thought, yeah, he made it sound like the kid killed himself. I'm like, that's terrible. But no, the kid didn't kill himself. The kid simply identifies as a different gender. It's like, how could you, this is your child.
I'm reading that going, man, I need to work on my communication skills because if I didn't make that clear enough to my co-host.
I had no idea through the whole show.
Yeah.
I only found out after the show. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I know. It's a weird thing.
Asshole.
Yeah.
He's your own kid.
He's a bit of an asshole. I read an article. I skimmed an article. I shouldn't say I read it, but I skimmed an article that Grimes, who he has some children with, she wants to take one of the kids to see her mother or her grandmother who's sick and dying, and he's refusing to allow the kid to go.
Wait, really? What, the kid?
Yeah, because they have a kid. I think they have I know they have a kid. I think maybe even 2, and somebody in her family is sick, and she wants to bring the baby there, and he's refusing to let the child go. So, right. I don't know. I don't know. They don't know the reasons why, other than she's like, I guess, getting courts involved or something. I don't know. I just never think it's a good Nick Cannon, Elon Musk, this whole, I need to have kids with 50 different people. It's very egotistical and crazy and cultish and strange. And it's bizarre to me. You know, it's bizarre to me. I know there's newfangled families and all that stuff, and there's divorce and all that stuff exists, but
yeah, but apparently not. Not a trans person though. That doesn't exist. That's the only family that Elon can't go for.
Yeah, it seems very strange. The more I find out about Elon, I'm the less I'm liking. I think the guy is a genius. I can't take away from his intelligence. He's obviously doing some incredible things with SpaceX and Tesla, and I give him all the credit in the world for that. He takes some unfair shots, but at the same time, you got to be a dad. You know,
yeah,
you gotta be a dad. And we all go through tough shit with kids and stuff, and you know, you just gotta be a dad. Plus, also the Twitter flagged us as being dangerous or whatever the fuck it was, so I'm pissed at him to begin with. He's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, so much for free speech.
Yeah, which is which is even more hilarious to watch him get into a fight with Gavin Newsom about freedom of speech, and meanwhile, his own platform is halting podcasts like ours because we talk about everything and they can't exactly identify what it is we're doing.
Yeah.
And he's doing the same thing, but it's okay for him because he owns the fucking thing. Like, it's
100%.
It's ridiculous. He did have a sick comeback though. It was like I don't know, he said something like, I have to check with Dr. Suggin my balls or something like that. Did you see that?
What is he in? 6th grade?
Yeah, it was a 6th grade. Oh, here's the South Dakota Department of Propaganda was the one who tweeted the ribbed for his pleasure couch picture.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Which I found pretty funny. And then I don't know if Elon's thing is still up. I think he might have taken it down.
Lindarella, they should box. What happened to that? Wasn't Elon Musk gonna box fucking?
Oh yeah, the Facebook guy.
Yeah, Zuckerberg.
Yeah, that was bullshit. I think it was Zuckerberg who was pushing that, and Elon kind of bitched out.
That sounds right.
It just goes to show you that all power is corrupt, because Elon goes in there and tries to like reverse this whole. Well, he's got a lot on the. There's a lot going on in Venezuela. I have a feeling this Venezuela thing is going to be even bigger story than it is today on Wednesday.
Yeah,
it's just going to be really, really big.
We'll keep track of it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, come back Wednesday. We'll keep track of it. Hat tip to Aaron's got a blind top 5 ready for us to go. So come back Friday for that. That'll be all kinds of fun and games. Fun and games, not funs and games.
Games and fun.
So we'll have a good. We'll have a whole nice little week of shows here. Back to a full week. It'll be good.
That was a hell of a podcast, sir.
Yeah, we did kind of hit all the things. See, I don't like to do the games too late now because it's been 90 minutes, and then it's just not as fresh.
Don't want to rush it.
Yeah, I like getting to the game early and giving the game a lot of time.
Okay,
that'll be good.
Fine. Thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us. Everybody, it's too many to name, but thank you to everybody. Really appreciate it, and all the comments.
Bunch of new names in the chat. Did you notice that tonight?
Yeah, love it.
New peeps.
More the merrier. People, I'm sure there are people that choose to just listen and don't want to chat. That's fine. But, leave us some comments if you want after the show's over, when the recorded. The replay crew. Love to hear from everybody.
I have to pause the music because you brought up such a good point. Like we get messages and they're like, I've been listening for 3.5 years. And remember in March of 2021 when Frank said this, and I'd be like, you've never said anything. You waited 2.5 years to bring this up.
What was it?
Like, where have you been? Dude, it happens on a daily basis where somebody will write in and go, I never comment, but I heard you say this and here's what I think. Which I love, because I wish people would just comment, those people wouldn't be so silent. But some people just like to listen,
Yeah.
It's the truth of it all.
That's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. But you just made me think of that. I just found that to be pretty funny.
More comments, the merrier. But we like to hear from everybody. So leave your comments. Sometimes we respond. We like the majority of them.
Potato salad.
And then we step over the lines at the end.
Maybe we should go now. Go ahead.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next